Have you ever brushed off a late night, told yourself, it's just one more episode, just one more scroll? I'll be fine. I'm Dr. Johnny, and let me ask you something straight from the heart. I know that feeling. I've heard it from countless patients who believed it was harmless. But here's the truth that most people don't realize until it's too late. Every night you make that choice, you may be quietly doubling your risk of a deadly heart attack. Heart disease isn't just another medical term. It's the #1 killer in America, stealing more lives every year than cancer accidents or any single cause you can name. And what makes it terrifying is this: most people never see the warning signs. They go about their daily lives working, laughing, spending time with their families, until suddenly their heart gives out. As a doctor, I've seen it happen far too many times, and it never gets less devastating. But here's what I need you to hold on to right now. So much of this is preventable. Your future isn't written in your DNA, and it's not sealed by your family history. The choices you make each day when you sleep, what you eat, how you move, can either push your heart closer to danger or protect it for years to come. In fact, research shows that with the right habits, you can add up to a decade of healthy life free from the fear of sudden heart failure. That's why I'm here. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the 8 essential steps the American Heart Association has identified, the exact lifestyle factors that can slash your risk of heart disease by more than half. These aren't extreme or impossible changes. They're practical, science-backed habits that you can start today, and they may be the difference between living in constant worry and stepping confidently into a future where your heart is strong and resilient. So if you've ever felt that nagging worry about chest pain, if you've seen your blood pressure creep up, or if you've wondered whether your heart is silently struggling, stay with me, because what I'm about to share isn't just information. It could save your life. Think about this for a second. How many nights have you stayed up late convincing yourself it's harmless, that you'll catch up on sleep tomorrow? Margaret, a 63-year-old retired teacher, thought the same. She had always brushed off her restless nights as just getting older. But one morning she woke up with crushing chest pain, and within hours she was rushed into the ER for a heart attack. The doctors told her something she never imagined. Her years of irregular sleep had quietly set her up for this moment. This is the danger most people ignore. Science is crystal clear. Every single hour of lost sleep raises your risk of heart disease by around 12%. And here's the kicker: even if you're clocking 7 hours one night and 9 the next, that inconsistency alone can double your risk of a heart attack or stroke. Imagine that. Just shifting your bedtime by more than 90 minutes, night after night, can be as harmful to your heart as smoking or diabetes. But here's the part that hits hardest: your genes don't protect you. You can have no family history of heart problems, and still, if your sleep is chaotic, you're putting your heart under attack. On the flip side, the moment you start building regular rhythms, your risk plummets no matter how old you are. That's why Dr. Johnny and countless cardiologists keep repeating the same message: guard your sleep, as if your life depends on it, because it does. So let me ask you directly, have you ever gone through weeks of broken sleep, late nights, early mornings, and brushed it off as normal? If so, you're not alone. Drop a comment below and tell me if you felt this, because I read every single one. What you'll realize is that poor sleep is not just about being tired, it's about silently shaving years off your life. But just knowing this isn't enough, because there's another factor even more dangerous than lack of sleep, and it hides inside your body without a single symptom. We just learned how irregular sleep can double your risk of heart disease. But here's where things get even more chilling. Because even if you manage to sleep well, there's a hidden force inside your body that could strike at any moment, and most people don't even know they have it. It's called high blood pressure, and doctors call it the silent killer for a reason. Take Robert, a 58-year-old truck driver. He felt fine, never complained of chest pain, and thought he was perfectly healthy. He hadn't checked his blood pressure in years. One day, while unloading boxes, he suddenly collapsed. The paramedics later revealed his blood pressure had been sky high for a long time, silently damaging his arteries until his heart simply gave out. Robert's story isn't rare. It's happening to millions of people every single year. Here's what the science shows. High blood pressure is the #1 cause of heart disease, and the #1 reason people die from heart attacks and strokes. Nearly half of adults in the US have hypertension, and many don't know it because it rarely comes with symptoms. The damage builds slowly. Constant pressure against your artery walls leads to tiny tears, fat builds up, and blockages form. Then one day the supply of blood to your heart or brain just stops. That's when the tragedy hits. So let me ask you, when was the last time you checked your blood pressure? If you can't remember, you might be walking around with a ticking time bomb in your chest. The good news is you can take control. Regular monitoring lifestyle changes like cutting down on salt and processed foods, staying active. And yes, medication when prescribed can dramatically lower your risk. The key isn't waiting until you feel sick, because with high blood pressure, the first sign is often the last. But only knowing about high blood pressure still doesn't give you the full picture, because there's another hidden rhythm in your body that quietly dictates whether your heart stays safe or slips into danger. We've just uncovered how high blood pressure quietly destroys arteries. But here's the twist: even if you manage your blood pressure well, your heart is still at risk if your body's natural rhythm is constantly thrown off. This rhythm, known as your circadian clock, is the invisible timer that controls when your body repairs itself, when hormones rise and fall, and when your heart is most vulnerable. Let me paint you a picture. Sarah, a 41-year-old nurse, works rotating night shifts. She eats dinner at 2 a.m., sleeps during the day, and often skips breakfast entirely. On paper, she's young and fit. But when she went for a checkup, her doctor was shocked her blood pressure was elevated, her waistline had expanded, and early signs of insulin resistance were already showing. Sarah's disrupted rhythm had quietly aged her body years ahead of schedule. And this isn't just her story. Studies show that people who eat late at night or have irregular sleep and mealtimes are far more likely to develop obesity, diabetes, and yes, heart disease. Even if you're getting enough hours of sleep, if you go to bed at 10 p.m. one night and 1 a.m., the next your risk skyrockets. One major study revealed that people whose sleep and eating times varied by more than 90 minutes had nearly double the risk of cardiovascular disease compared to those who stayed consistent. Think of your heart like a finely tuned clock. It thrives on regularity. Waking, sleeping, eating, and exercising at similar times each day helps keep your blood pressure stable, your blood sugar balanced, and your metabolism humming. And here's something fascinating. People who eat breakfast early and avoid heavy late-night meals consistently show lower risks of heart attacks and strokes. It's not just what you eat, it's when you eat. Now let me ask you directly, do your sleep and meals happen at the same times every day, or are they all over the place? Be honest, because your answer could reveal whether you're protecting your heart or slowly setting it up for failure. But only understanding circadian rhythms won't fully save your heart, because scientists have discovered 8 powerful lifestyle and health factors that together can slash your risk in half. And this next part may surprise you, because it's not just about avoiding bad habits, it's about mastering the American Heart Association's Life's Essential 8. So far, we've seen how poor sleep, high blood pressure, and disrupted rhythms can push your heart into danger. But here's the breakthrough: scientists in the American Heart Association have identified 8 essential factors, 8 daily habits and health measures that together can literally cut your risk of a heart attack or stroke in half. They call it Life's Essential 8, and Dr. Johnny describes it as the ultimate roadmap to protecting your heart and adding up to 10 extra years of healthy life. Let's start with the first: eat better. This doesn't mean going on a crash diet or giving up everything you love. It means leaning into whole foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, fish, and healthy oils, while cutting back on ultra-processed junk sugar and excess salt. Imagine swapping a bag of chips for a handful of almonds or soda for sparkling water. Those small changes compound over years, keeping your arteries clear and your blood pressure steady. The second is get active. Just 150 minutes of brisk walking, dancing, or cycling per week is enough to transform your heart health. Don't think of it as punishment. Think of it as an investment. Every step you take is a step away from clogged arteries. One study even showed that people who simply walk 30 minutes a day lowered their risk of heart disease by more than 20%. Third, avoid tobacco and nicotine. This includes vaping and even secondhand smoke. Your arteries are lined with delicate tissue, and every puff of smoke inflames and scars those walls. Quitting isn't easy, but every single day without nicotine begins to heal the lining of your blood vessels. Within a year, your heart attack risk drops by half. Fourth, prioritize sleep. This is the newest addition to the list, and it ties directly back to what we've already learned. Aim for 7 or 8 hours of consistent restorative sleep every night. Remember, both too little and too much sleep can raise your risk. Regular rhythms are the secret weapon here. Now we move into the health factors, the numbers your doctor measures. Manage blood pressure. Keep it under 120/80. If you're higher, don't panic. Lifestyle changes like cutting salt, exercising, and reducing stress can help. And if your doctor prescribes medication, taking it consistently can save your life. The sixth factor is control cholesterol. Think of cholesterol as the waxy gunk that can clog your arteries. Keep your bad non-HDL cholesterol in check by eating more fiber, less fried food, and staying active. When your cholesterol drops, your risk of sudden blockage drops with it. Seventh, keep blood sugar stable. High blood sugar doesn't just lead to diabetes, it also accelerates artery damage. Even pre-diabetes, when your fasting blood sugar sits between 100 and 125, is a dangerous red flag. The good news, eating balanced meals, avoiding sugary drinks, and moving after you eat can bring those numbers down before real damage sets in. And finally, maintain a healthy weight. This isn't about fitting into a certain size. It's about keeping extra strain off your heart and reducing inflammation throughout your body. Studies show that even a modest 5 to 10% weight loss in someone overweight can significantly improve blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar all at once. Now here's the real power. Each of these factors is strong on its own, but together they're unstoppable. People who scored high on all 8 had dramatically lower risks, not just of heart attacks, but of strokes, diabetes, kidney disease, and even early death. In fact, research shows that achieving life's essential 8 can literally make your biological age 6 to 8 years younger than your chronological age. So let me ask you, how many of these 8 are you actually living right now? 1 or 2, maybe 3? Drop a comment and be honest. Because the more you adopt, the more years of strong, vibrant life you're giving yourself. But here's the twist. Even if you nail these 8 habits, there's still one daily choice that can either strengthen or sabotage everything you've worked for. And it all comes down to the way you sleep, not just at night, but the small habits surrounding it. We've just walked through the 8 pillars of heart health, but here's something you need to know. Even if you eat right, exercise, and manage your numbers, poor sleep hygiene can still unravel all of your progress. Sleep isn't just about hours, it's about quality, rhythm, and the environment you create every single night. Take Linda, a 55-year-old office worker. She often fell asleep with the TV on, scrolled her phone until midnight, and took long afternoon naps that left her wide awake at night. She thought she was resting enough, but she constantly felt groggy, and her doctor noticed her blood pressure creeping upward. Once Linda made a few simple changes, turning off screens an hour before bed, keeping her naps under 30 minutes, and sticking to the same bedtime, her sleep deepened, her morning energy soared, and her blood pressure finally started to stabilize. The science backs her up. Adults who get fewer than 7 hours of consistent quality sleep face a 20% higher risk of heart disease, while those who oversleep beyond 9 hours also see their risk climb. What really matters is balance 7 to 8 hours with a steady rhythm. Studies also show that exposure to natural sunlight during the day improves nighttime sleep, while caffeine or alcohol within 2 hours of bedtime shatters its quality. And here's something many overlook. Nicotine doesn't just damage your lungs. If you smoke before bed, it can keep your heart and nervous system in overdrive long after you've closed your eyes. So let me turn this back to you. Do you find yourself dozing off during the day or waking up still tired even after what you thought was a full night's sleep? That's your body signaling that your sleep hygiene needs an upgrade. And the best part is you don't need to overhaul your entire life. Small tweaks, consistent bedtimes, morning walks in the sunlight, caffeine cutoffs, and screen-free evenings can transform not just your nights but your heart health for decades to come. But knowing how to improve your sleep is only part of the story, because what ties everything together, the sleep, the rhythm, the habits, the numbers, is the mindset you choose moving forward. And in the conclusion, you'll see how a simple shift in perspective could mean the difference between a future defined by fear or one filled with 10 extra years of health and freedom. If you've stayed with me until now, it tells me something important. You're serious about protecting your heart, and you're ready to take control of your future. And that already puts you ahead of so many people who ignore the warning signs. I want you to know this: every step you take, no matter how small, matters. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be consistent. Even one extra hour of quality sleep, one healthier meal, or one 20-minute walk a day can begin to turn the tide in your favor. Progress is always stronger than perfection. So here's my heartfelt advice to you. Don't wait for a crisis before you act. Don't wait until you're sitting in an emergency room wondering if you'll ever see your loved ones again. Start now with what you can control today. Take a moment to measure your blood pressure. Choose water instead of soda at your next meal. Go to bed at a consistent time tonight. These are not just random habits. They are acts of self-preservation that protect your most vital organ. And because I care about your journey, I want to give you ongoing support. That's why I encourage you to save this video so you can come back whenever you need a reminder or a little push. And make sure you subscribe to this channel because every week I'll bring you new science-based tips, practical strategies, and the encouragement you need to build a strong, resilient heart. When you subscribe, you're not just following a channel. You're joining a community of people who believe that life is worth protecting and that heart health is the foundation for everything we love to do. Now, I want you to picture yourself 6 months from today. Imagine waking up with more energy, feeling calmer, moving with more confidence, and no longer worrying whether your heart is silently working against you. Imagine hearing your doctor tell you that your numbers look better than they have in years. That vision is not a fantasy, it's a future you can create by choosing differently today. So take that first step. Your heart has carried you faithfully through every joy and every challenge of your life. Isn't it time you return the favor? Together we can rewrite your story not as one defined by fear, but by strength, freedom, and years of health still ahead. Your best days don't have to be behind you. They can still be waiting for you. And protecting your heart is the key to unlocking them.